Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the supportive viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Jacksonville. In past years, during the springtime, the McMurray College campus would be buzzing with the activity of about 700 students. But several years of economic stress and then the COVID virus led to the difficult decision to close the school and auction the buildings and property. It was a blow to Jacksonville, but it did present some opportunities. Mike Hayes of Jacksonville is one of the businessmen who became aware of the auction and saw an opportunity. And you have to have a range of you have to really think out there, but the opportunities are here. And you took a couple, didn't you?
Yeah, we wound up with, 5 buildings, 3 of the parcels. Our primary interest was in the chapel and the dining hall. It was in the Annie Murner Chapel and McClellan Dining Hall. To combine with our business that we're in the process of putting together a winery out on the east side of town, and we were looking for more event space, and we've had a pretty large demand for weddings, given the fact that there haven't been many weddings in the last couple of years because of the COVID restrictions.
Sure.
So we think it's going to be the next couple of years going to be pretty active.
This is perfect for that.
Yeah,
and you're going to take us in and show us. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's actually one of only 2 facilities like this in Jacksonville that have a center aisle. That's the real attraction here. It seats up to 1,100 people under normal circumstances, but it has a center aisle for the bride to come down, which is unusual here. I think there actually is only one other church in Morgan County that has a center aisle.
And this is called the Annie Murner Chapel?
This is Annie Murner Chapel. Yeah, Annie Murner, and that's the Henry Pfeiffer Library, which was a different parcel. They were married. And there's all this history about, that's the reason the 2 buildings face each other.
Okay.
And there's nothing built between them. Apparently there was never supposed to be anything, so the 2 buildings could always see each other. But Annie Murner was married to Henry Pfeiffer, and he had passed away. And this was actually built shortly after she passed away.
Now, the dining hall is also really sort of up your alley, because what this will allow you to do is to have larger groups, and of course it's already a dining hall, so it's meant.
And it's got a full kitchen.
It's meant for entertaining and that kind of thing. And it's got a full kitchen, which of course is hard. It's very expensive. Kitchen equipment is very expensive, so it's right up. And you'll take us in there too,
I'd be
right?
happy to.
Okay,
sure.
That's a beautiful building too. And then at the end of this sort of this plaza, or this long yard way, is another building, and that's a more modern building, and that's not yours, but you sold it to the health department.
Yeah, well, they actually came and partnered with me at the auction. It was part of the property was sold in parcels, so this was the first parcel, contained 3 buildings, and Putnam Springer is a building that I had some conversations with the Morgan County Health Department. They were looking for a space. And they were considering building, so I actually brought them through here through my involvement with the college before the auction, and they loved it. I mean, it's exactly what they're looking for. So they actually partnered with me at the auction and wound up. I was the successful bidder, but when we got to closing, they actually bought that directly from the college.
And so they'll be moving in there sooner than later, right?
Yeah, I think they're talking about trying to get in there maybe yet this year.
Wow, that is fast.
But it'll be soon. I think they intend to. I think they're working on their plans right now. But.
And all this green space between here and there's plans for that too.
Yeah, we actually had it subdivided. So this parcel goes back to just beyond that monument there. So everything north of there is theirs, and south is ours. We are actually having some conversations about possibly putting some more parking back there too. But this space on my side, I intend to move some of the monuments from around the campus that I acquired over here and set this up as kind of a little park, a memorial park for McMurray College.
Nice.
So the Alumni Association, I work with them quite a bit through this process and they intend to continue to use this as for homecoming activities.
That would be sweet.
So they're actually coming back in October.
And of course they'd have these 2 facilities right here that they could use.
These 2 facilities, and we may even house some of them here on campus as well for the weekend.
Yeah. Well, can we go in the chapel first?
Sure.
Mike, you were talking earlier about the central aisle that the bride and groom could come down, and you really get a very nice effect when you walk in. It's just gorgeous space. Just
It is. Yeah, it is beautiful. Actually, I was married here 30.
Is that right?
Yeah, 37 years ago, I guess.
So you have a special attachment.
Well,
to it.
my daughters played recitals here, dance recitals and things like that as they were growing up. Yeah.
Speaking of playing, I believe that the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra uses this space. It's perfect for them. Any plans for them to be able to continue?
We haven't
to
made
use
plans yet, but my intention is to continue any of the community events that were going on here. We'd like to have Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra back. The Madrigal Singers, McMurray had a very active choir. I mean, we'd like to get some of that stuff going again. I mean, obviously, but the pipe organ from 1952 is still in here. We'd like to get some concerts. The one thing that is gone from here is the piano. There was the Van Cliburn Steinway, but it stayed local. It's still here. The Jacksonville Center for the Arts has actually acquired that, and it's still in town. But I have another grand concert to put back up there that actually was in one of the other buildings.
Well, that'll suffice.
Yeah.
The acoustics are great.
Yeah. You can see that it's all wired for sound. I'm actually going to have Mason Sound come in and tweak all the sound system, make sure everything's updated. We'll probably update it a little bit. Make it a little more compatible with some of today's technology, but the Bose speakers are here.
So you've got this could be a performance space for anybody that wanted
what we intend
to
to
use
do.
it.
Yeah, and we'll probably sponsor some events here as well.
Tell me more about the organ, because apparently it's a specific type that's
well
known.
It's a 1952 Aeolian Skinner organ, and apparently one of the top organs in the world. I've heard it played as recently as right before the auction, the open house for the auction.
If we look up at the walls up there where you see the I'm not sure what those are, grates or drapes or whatever. That's where the pipes are back behind that wall, and there are hundreds of them.
Yeah, I think there are almost 3,500 up there, pipes in the walls.
At the upper end of your property, Mike, is this cornerstone from the old main hall.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what I was told. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
And it was torn down, I think, in the late '90s, early 2000s, and replaced by Putnam Springer. But they preserved this, as a memorial to some of the original buildings in Harker Hall and some of the original buildings that were here. There's actually a memorial still for Main Hall in front of the Putnam Springer building. Before
it became McMurray, it was Illinois Women's
College.
And it was affiliated with Illinois College, which was all male.
Yeah.
And this was all female until later, like in the 50s.
I think in the 50s.
Or something.
I think in the 1950s.
Okay. So this will stay, and this will, of course, be surrounded by some other monuments.
And we're going to put new
landscaping.
College. You can't see what we've done in the last, because it's all gone, but it was all overgrown. We've taken all the bushes and shrubs that had become overgrown out, and we're going to re-landscape all this in the spring. So
it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, and we've trimmed up all the trees. They were all kind of overgrown and had been neglected.
Interestingly, there's somebody had some fun with walking down from the cornerstone to the dining hall, and these blue footprints lead you the way.
Yeah, apparently this is the footprints of the Michelson monster. Apparently the stories were that the main hall was and some of the other halls up here were haunted by a monster that, when they tore this down, made its way all the way across campus and up the walls of Michelson House, which is a dormitory that wasn't in use at the end. And you'll see these footprints go all the way up. But it came by way of the dining hall, and you can see the path it took all the way through.
Yep. So if you had a wedding over at the chapel,
yes,
you could come right across that little green space here.
Just walk right over.
And this would be where everybody could feed or dance,
or an event too. I mean, like we're hosting a prom here in May, and they're gonna start over at the chapel. Then they're gonna come here afterwards. The Beaux-Arts Ball is going to be this summer. Same thing. They're going to start at the chapel and just walk over here.
So you've already got bookings.
Oh yeah, we're booked.
That's terrific.
Yeah, we have several bookings this year already.
Yeah.
And we actually haven't advertised at all. They're just people that have contacted me, have found me.
It's an interesting design. I don't know, I'm not an architect, but I kind of call this barrel ceiling effect, which is the half circle.
It's almost like a Quonset hut, although it doesn't come down to the floor like
much
a Quonset hut.
Classier though, so classy.
Yeah.
And the chandeliers are beautiful, and you got a big fireplace at each end, which is also a lot of interest.
Yeah, and we plan to take advantage of those and run gas to those, so we can run them all the time in here.
Yeah, and actually, you could use just half of it too, couldn't you? I mean, if you had a
Oh
smaller
yeah,
group.
you can subdivide it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the interesting thing and cost-saving thing is it's got a full kitchen and kitchen equipment.
Already
It's
in place.
so expensive.
It's already in place.
Let's go in there. I'll follow you.
Sure. Yeah, we actually have several portable buffets that we can set
Yeah.
up, configure any way you want. We've got food warmers. We're actually back here today cleaning the kitchen, preparing for the Kiwanis Pancake and Sausage Day.
Is this where it usually is held?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and they prepare the pancakes and sausage back here. In the past, have served it in the dining area, but now this year it's going to be a drive-through event. But it's still going to be prepared in here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is going to be a great community asset too, because like you said, there are a lot of community groups that need facilities, and you can cut them a deal, and
Right.
they can get it done. Right. This is also nice, Mike, because what you can do is, if you don't want to have everybody waiting, having to have a server for their food, you can have them come in and come right back out, serve themselves and go right back out.
And you don't eat up floor space in the main dining area.
Yeah. And what I'd like to do is go back outside, because the administration building and one of the residence halls are part of what you're doing. You've got plans for that too.
Yes.
So let's go over there.
Sure.
Well, Mike, we just walked across East College Street.
Right.
And if we look over your shoulder, we can see the dining hall that we were just in, and of course the McMurray Chapel, which is across the way there. And then so over here on this side of East College, there are several other big, massive buildings. One of them here looks like a residence hall.
This is Rutledge Hall. It has about 50 dormitory rooms in it, which are in great shape. I mean, they were ready to reopen and put students back in. So we'll be renovating that building and bringing it back online fairly quickly for some short-term housing.
And this is yours.
Yes.
And in fact, you've already had discussions with a group of workers who are in town. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they're in town for the rest of the year. They were looking for short-term housing. A lot of the guys are just here during the week and go home on the weekends, so they wanted something pretty affordable and just a place basically to come at the end of the day and sleep and go back to work the next day.
What are they working on?
They're working on a wind farm project out around Franklin. They're building, I think, 107 windmills. There's going to be a wind farm out there.
Yeah. So, and that project would take how long? Would you have
About
it for
a
a year or so?
Yeah, I think it's going to be under a year, actually. They're saying they're going to be done by October, November.
Well, that'd be nice if you could get 30, 40, 50 guys in here, wouldn't it?
And we're going to bring in some summer interns as well for some of the local companies. They're looking for a place to. Illinois College, I think, was housing some summer interns for some of the local companies, and because of COVID, they're not going to do that this year. So I think we're going to try to accommodate them either at our apartments or probably put some in here as well.
As long as we're looking in this direction over here, I see a gazebo down there. And you were talking about moving some of the memorials and some of the things of interest that are on campus over here to that green area we talked about.
Yeah.
That's one of them, huh?
Yeah, that was presented to the college a few years ago by one of the alumni classes, and it came with Rutledge Hall. So I'm actually going to relocate that over between McClellan Hall and Annie Munner Chapel. So we'll have kind of a little area, McMurray College area preserved, kind of a park for McMurray College. And we've been working with the Alumni Association to allow them to come back every year and have their homecoming here. So that'll kind of be their headquarters for homecoming, and put all that stuff kind of in one place.
Nice. The library, I'm hoping to see that with the future or the present owner of that in just a few minutes. And looks like a beautiful
it's
building.
spectacular building.
And then over on this corner, we can, we can't see a lot of it, but that's a classroom
That's
hall,
McMurray
right?
Hall.
And that's yours. That's part
McMurray
of your
Hall.
plot.
Yeah, I acquired that. That's McMurray Hall, and it's all classrooms. Went through a renovation in 2015, I believe.
That's
they put
good.
a new elevator in and everything. So it's a great building. It is configured as classrooms. So one of the primary reasons that I acquired that building was it has a huge parking lot, and it's directly across the street from the chapel. Because one of the challenges I've always noticed in the past with events at Annie Munner Chapel or the dining hall was parking on the street. And this way I have that parking lot now. I acquired the parking lot behind this building. It has a very large parking lot. So we've got our parking taken care of here
now you have to start a school, see, because you got a classroom and you got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we got classrooms, we got dormitories, we got a dining hall, we got a chapel, we got an administration building, we got the whole thing here.
Hey, Mike, thanks for getting involved in Jacksonville again.
No,
You're
it's our
very
pleasure.
involved. This is really nice that some local people have come in to take an interest in this and to own some of this. And because that means the community's going to share some of the wealth. So
They
that's
will.
wonderful.
And I was worried when I first heard about this that this might get carved up with a bunch of different owners. And actually, they've all wound up in fairly strong hands, I think. And I think we're all working together, and I think it's going to turn out well. I really do.
Yeah. Well, one of the other Jacksonville folks who took an interest in the auction and bought some of the properties, Ryan Turner. And Ryan, you're in the construction business, a tree removal business. You're a baseball coach. You got a lot of interests. So, but you're good for this because you can do a lot of this stuff yourself. Making these spaces fit to what you need. Where are we standing? It looks like we're in an athletic complex.
Well, right now what we're calling this is the Midwest Athletic Center, and it's an athletic complex. We have 3 college-sized basketball courts. We can facilitate large basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, gymnastic events, dance recitals. We really are treating this space as a multi-purpose space.
And this was, like when this was a college, this was their main basketball venue. They also, on the other side, there was a swimming, like a natatorium, I guess is what they call it, a huge swimming pool. You're not going to keep the swimming pool, but that could be used as well, couldn't it be turned into something else?
Yes, we've been working with with one local nonprofit that has a dream to potentially turn that space into a fine arts studio or a fine arts facility. Sorry, studio is the wrong word there. But then we also have potential to turn it into an additional basketball court, multi-purpose court.
And the basketball business is pretty good, isn't it? Because you might need some extra space.
Yes, yeah.
Even though people are going to be amazed when we walk in there at how much space you have for basketball, but you could maybe even use some more.
Correct, correct. We sure could.
Let's take a look at
Awesome.
This space is remarkable.
Yeah, they really did. I felt like they took care of their athletes here. I was good friends with Chris Douglas, the former football coach that was here, and the facility, the weight room facility that they had, the changes that they were doing to the football field, and then baseball and basketball, as you can see alike, they really did. I feel like took care of their athletes, student athletes, very well.
Now, what kind of events have you had in here, and what the enthusiasm level is?
Yeah, so we've had some larger with COVID, of course, as large as we could do. We're still trying to hold between that 25% capacity. We're spacing people out. People are wearing masks and things like that. But we've had some before IHSA came back on, we had some nice large varsity basketball games in here. Practice games essentially is what they were. But they were some good intense matchups for early season basketball. We have an 8th grade event coming up on March 14th and 15th that we think is going to be an awesome event too.
Yeah. So if you want to, you can turn this floor right here into 4 full basketball courts.
3 full basketball.
3 full
courts.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at 2.5 right now.
Yep.
So these bleachers they move back.
Correct.
And that gives you another like half of a court.
Yeah, so that becomes court 1. The main court then rolls up, then court 2, and then the far north court would be court 3.
And of course, it's not just basketball. You can use this for all kind of venues because you can use a little space or a lot.
Correct. So,
tumbling, dancing, gymnastics.
So yes. So currently we're renting out by the court in 2-hour increments. So you can choose to rent the whole gym, whole facility, or just one court at a time. We have a large curtain that we can pull for sound, so sound isn't transferred back and forth. We've rented the space for futsal, indoor soccer, volleyball, basketball, dance recitals, as you mentioned, you name it. We really we're treating this space as a multi-purpose event center.
Yep. Okay, you also have some outdoor recreational facilities, and you got the library.
Yes.
And we mentioned the library earlier in the program. Libraries, universities, they always put a lot of value in the library, right? Because they're a learning outfit, and the libraries are always gorgeous. So we get to see that too.
Absolutely.
Let's
I'm
go
excited
outside.
to show you that.
Okay, Ryan, just to give some perspective, this is the building we were just in. If you look at the concrete part there, that's the swimming area, I guess, right?
Correct.
That we did not look into, but then there was the hall and the concession area, and the other side, the other side where the basketball courts were. So it's a big building.
Absolutely.
There's a lot in there. There were offices and classrooms and everything that you're going to have to find a way to put to use.
Yep.
But I wanted to come out here because some of the property that came with your plot was this football practice field, and one of the problems that you and Mike and other developers are going to have is going to be parking.
Yes.
So you're always looking for a flat area where people can
Yes.
access, right?
Yes, yes, we sure are. And everything we want to do is bringing people to this area. Same with Mike, we're wanting to bring people to the campus, but then you got to have a place to park them, and that's right. So that's actually, we are in the developmental stages of putting in our parking lot right here, and we believe this is going to be our location for that.
So this could be a big parking lot, and you'd have access. Oh, is that Clay Street there?
It is.
Okay, I can see a car going by there
Yep.
right now. So you'd have all you have to do is build a little driveway in off there, and you've had paved this, and you're good.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's also just behind us here is a baseball field. This was their main baseball field. It's a good field.
Yep.
And you don't have any plans to do much with that. It's going to stay a baseball field.
It is for the next, at least for the next year or so. It's going to stay as a baseball field, and we plan on partnering with our friends Adam and Kristen Jameson from Future Champions Field. When they have busy weekends, we're going to rent that to them for overflow.
That used to be Lens Field.
Correct.
Out near the hospital.
Yes,
Okay.
an all-turf facility here.
Yeah, and it's actually they're pretty successful. They bring in big tournaments.
They are. They really are. They are probably one of the main tourism attractions in Jacksonville. They really are.
And they can't always take the number of teams that want to come in.
Correct.
So this would be overflow. Huh?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a perk for a lot of the older teams to play. We've got sunken dugouts. Although the turf fields are very nice, sometimes it's nice to play on a collegiate field too.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it should be a nice little perk for the teams.
Yeah,
as
you're
well.
going to be mowing a lot of grass.
A lot of grass. 14 acres of grass.
I hope you're in shape for it.
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
barely mow my own grass at home.
Well, you're a busy guy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what other buildings have you bought on this campus?
So I own what we call is the formerly known as the Campus Center. It was built in the, I believe, mid 60s. Really modern architecture, super nice building though, built like a tank. And we've been working with a local nonprofit that we think is going to move in there. I can't speak exactly to that right now formally, but we're really excited about what's going to happen there. Then we have Julian Hall, which was their
Is that this brick building
this
straight ahead?
brick
Okay.
building here, which it features a large lecture hall. I think you can have about 150 to 200 people in there. It's set up with desk and for presentations, things like that, with a lot of large, they used it as lab classrooms, but essentially it has just a lot of big multi-purpose rooms in there now. We kind of have a dream of doing a trade school one day here in Jacksonville. And, between, you mentioned my businesses earlier, I have a construction business, and then my father owns a tree service and a landscape company. And today, we could both companies hire 20 employees
Is that
right now.
If they were skilled.
If they were skilled, and we're not we don't really even need them to be, fully trained. We just need a little bit of skill and a driver's license, and just some work ethic.
Then they could learn the rest on the job.
And we could teach the rest on the job, absolutely.
So this would be perfect for you.
We really hope that. And we're not alone in that. Many of the general contractors that I work for and alongside with are in the same boat. So we feel like just my own connection, we could place those men and women who would go through that school, and then also just here locally. We have a few manufacturers here locally that are always in need of just help. And so we hope to educate, and college isn't for everybody, and we just really hope that we can help some people out in our community, and then essentially it builds Jacksonville from within that way.
Mike Hayes was talking about too, he's got a classroom building that he doesn't know what to do with.
Yes.
And if there were a need for classrooms, if there were some, it doesn't have to be college, or junior college, or even trade school. It'd just be some informal way to learn a trade.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's kind of the hope there for Julian Hall there. And then we have the library across the way here, which we're super excited about. It's just, I started admiring that building about 2 years ago. My wife and I, we got married in Annie Murner, so I used to always drive by and I would just look at it. And about 2 years ago, my attention, for whatever reason, driving by, started shifting to the library, and it's just an awesome building. And then now I have it.
Will you take us in?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Come on, let's go.
All right.
You got yourself a library.
I do.
I hope you like to read.
Yeah. Newfound hobby.
It's really very stylish.
It is.
Very stylish. It was built in 1942, and you can see a lot of the appointments, like the sconces and the exit sign over the door. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of nice period stuff here.
Yeah, we do. We're super excited about the light fixtures and the condition of all of them. They're really neat.
Yeah, they did. They kept it in good shape. Mm-hmm. You're drawn immediately to this big area over here on the right.
Yes.
With the barrel, I guess it's called a barrel ceiling?
Barrel vault ceiling.
Barrel vault ceiling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know better than I do. And the first thing you see is these massive chandeliers.
Yes. Hung from a very large brass log chain too, no doubt.
Oh my goodness.
But they're approximately 8 feet by 8 feet in size, and they are just massive. That's the first thing that I was drawn to. That, and then of course the moldings and the woodwork here on the archway.
Yeah. Now this is
special.
dramatic, but throughout the building you have really nice attention to detail on the woodwork.
Yes, they're
not all this big. They're not all this big and dramatic, but very nice.
Yep, they definitely are. Definitely are.
So you're not going to open a library. What the heck do you do with a building like this?
Right. Well, we've got a few ideas. The first one that really shouts out to us, and also is kind of the need in Jacksonville, is we really think like a craft brew, a microbrewery / restaurant would do well here. That's like a definite dream and something we hope would happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could do it without a whole lot of investment. You've got a basement that you could deal with if you wanted to put, somewhere for your tanks and everything you might need.
It is, and the building is actually constructed, so we're standing on concrete right now. So each of the floors is all steel and concrete. So it's essentially built like a warehouse, if you will, in a lot of ways. Yeah. And then, many of those places really like to repurpose, an older historic facility.
Sure. Because they don't build them like that anymore. You can't do it.
You definitely.
If that's the vibe you want,
that's
what you got to find it.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, Ryan, thanks for the tour. I really appreciate your
It's
time.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This, of course, McMurray closing was and continues to be a blow for Jacksonville, who has had a number of economic blows. But it's really nice to know local people can step up, look at a property like this, they can envision the future and really start taking an active role in it. And it's already happening here in Jacksonville at the old McMurray College. With another Illinois story in Jacksonville, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.